Jalen, who is joining us later in the show?
Morant, the Memphis Grizzlies superstar, is joining Jalen and Jacoby. Do not miss it.
We start the show with the Eastern Conference Finals. It was Game 4 between the Bucks and the Hawks, and without Trae Young, Atlanta showed up and showed out, took a big early lead with Giannis on the floor. However, a turning point in the game and maybe the series, Jalen, was when Giannis went down. What do you think about this injury to his left knee?
So many major injuries to NBA All-Stars in this year's playoffs. 9 have missed games. That's an NBA record, Jacoby. And I'm not going to say it's because of the compressed 72-game season, because all injuries aren't created equal. A player like Kawhi Leonard had been load managing his knee, and he still got injured. Kyrie Irving landed on Giannis's foot. Now Giannis hyperextending his left knee. Now, when I first saw it, a 7-foot man who's extremely athletic landing with all of his weight on one part of his body, I was even surprised he was able to walk off. And the other thing is, I'm so very happy that his older brother's on the team. Like, trust me, for anybody that's ever gotten injured doing a sporting event, to have love close around you really matters. And I'm telling you, his brother barking in his ear, he really needed that right then. Now, of course, we can't necessarily speculate how long he's going to be out. But you don't land like that, Jacoby, and play in the next game. And so, for me, I hope he's not out the entire playoff run. And again, I don't want to speculate how long I believe he's going to be out. But I'll just say, you don't land like that and play in the next game. So this is really unfortunate for Giannis, clearly, and I'm rooting for the best, and definitely for the Bucks and just the NBA overall, because we hope to get a champion where people aren't talking more about the people that are injured than the people that are playing.
I mean, Trae Young was already out, and then Giannis, as you mentioned, he landed so awkwardly, but it was encouraging. He got up and walked off on his own power, helped by his brother. And then remember, he came out of the tunnel and kind of came onto the bench and then went back in. So he's walking around. Hopefully that means that he can get back in the playoffs. However, we will learn more as we move forward. But one thing that we're going to talk about Giannis a lot and his injury, but let's not overlook what the Hawks did. Even with Giannis on the floor, no Trae Young, it was Kayvon Huerter. It was Bogdanovich and Cam Reddish and Lou Williams. Jalen, what do you think about this truly team effort from the Hawks to get this win?
I just like how Huerter has gotten adopted by the culture. That really makes me happy. Shout out to the ATL. You know how much I love Atlanta. Same with Bogey. I appreciate it so much. And my guy Lou Will, he trademarked lemon pepper for a reason. I was jealous that I wasn't in Atlanta after this game, Jacoby. I might have got a chance to rub elbows with Lou Will. And how about Clint Capella, like Larry Bird, over the backboard?
Over the backboard.
Come on now. When those type of shots are going in, you know what it made me do? It made me look on the sideline. You know what it made me want to do? Give Nate McMillan credit. He's the only coach remember, they started the season with Lloyd Pierce and had one of the worst records in their conference. They've now had one of the best records in the entire NBA, and yesterday they were doing it without Trae Young, who's been remarkable in these playoffs. 30-point games, high-scoring games, high-assist games, shooting from half court. They win a home game without him, and Giannis was on the floor in the first quarter. And you know how many points he had? 0. Giannis scored 0 points in the first quarter. And again, it's hard for me to get on him because I know he got injured, but I'm going to just cover the series like I anticipate he's coming back. And the other thing that worried me for the Bucks is the air balls by Giannis.
Oh, the free throws.
Jacoby, now you know a lot of things can happen during a basketball game. For me, The one unforgivable thing for any player, male, female, young, old, I don't care.
You hate air balls.
What age? You can't be shooting air balls from the free throw line.
You've always hated air balls,
you cannot be
especially from
doing
the free
that.
throw line.
At
And he
what
does it
age
over
does
and
that
over
stop?
again.
Help me. What age does that
10.
stop?
You're 10. You get to double digits. You got to hit the rim.
Okay,
you got to
exactly.
hit the rim.
Exactly. And so, especially when they're counting down and everybody's anticipating. And he also shot an air ball from the three-point line. So that right there is psychological.
Absolutely
and so,
is.
Before the injury, he already was dealing with something psychologically. So you know what this tells me? The Atlanta Hawks are in pole position to win this series.
Oh, really? Even with a pivotal Game 5 coming up in Milwaukee, you're saying that the Hawks are in pole position to win this series. And Jalen, one of the reasons that I might agree with you, Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish has been out. DeAndre Hunter is out. Trae Young is out. But when Cam Reddish was on the floor, he wasn't just doing it defensively against Chris Middleton. He was doing it offensively, too. Middleton had a bad game, and a lot of his bad game had to do with the influence of Cam Reddish on this game.
And also, when you're roster building, right? So you got the anchors. So you got a Capella, you got Collins. And so you got Gallo up front. And then you have Trae Young in the backcourt, right? And then you draft these two guys in the lottery, Reddish in particular, who returned, and Hunter, to give you that defensive ability, that three-point shot-making ability to now play against some of the elite wings in the league. And so now you get him back to play against Middleton, and now all of a sudden I'm feeling like, again, this series is there for the Hawks to win, David Jacoby.
Yeah.
They're going to get Trae Young back, I anticipate, at some point. I anticipate, and I hope this doesn't happen, that Giannis, if I'm in Giannis's camp, like Trae Young didn't play yesterday, he should not play in the next game. Even if he came to me with something like the skies open and he was running doing 360s, you still got to keep him out of the game, because a large man landing on his knee like that, it's just going to be some swelling there. And so based on that, I believe Nate McMillan, and you know I've been riding with the Bucks. You know I've been riding with the Bucks.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I've consistently been riding with the Bucks and the Memphis Grizzlies, because Ja Morant's joining us next. And I told you I was picking the field against the Nets and the Lakers. And so when I stand on the table about something, Jacoby, I'm telling you, I believe of all teams, the Atlanta Hawks, peace up, A-Town down.
Well,
Should
this
make the
series will
finals.
go to a pivotal Game 5. Neither team is facing elimination in this one. However, when you look at the Western Conference Finals, tonight's game between the Suns and the Clippers is interesting as well, because while the Suns have a 3-2 lead, this looks like the Clippers had the best player on the floor in Paul George, who had a masterful performance to bring this to 3-2. And while the Clippers have their back against the wall, they are playing at home, and it does feel like they had the momentum in this series. What do you expect tonight in this one?
And by sticking to the injury theme, because it is a part of this year's narrative, they're playing without Kawhi Leonard. They're playing without Serge Ibaka. Zubac didn't play in the game either. So Paul George now gets a chance to do a reprise as a veteran player of what I saw as a young Indiana Pacer playing in the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron James. Now that confident player is in L.A. Ty Lue and Chauncey Billups have done an amazing job of allowing their guards to flourish. You see Reggie Jackson and how he's performing. He's not only shooting threes and being clutch and confident, he out there bang, bang, Siegel Street on people. Come on now. And how about Terrence Mann? And so that guard play that the Clippers are getting, and I ain't going to forget Patrick Beverly, because his numbers ain't going to be big, but his 6 or 8 points are going to be loud, because he's up in your face. He's clipping Chris Paul. He's edgy. He's jumping around. He's getting in Devin Booker's face. And so that guard play used to be what I was saying I loved about the Suns. You remember that? You remember that?
Jalen, do you
remember
know what
I was
happened?
talking about CP3 and Booker and Cam
Of course,
Reddish?
Campaign
Now,
is hurt.
The Clippers guard play has been dominant.
Here's what needs to happen. Devin Booker, look at my face, look at my nose. It's broken. It's been broken many, many, many times. Devin Booker, take the mask off, dog.
You've been consistent with that.
Listen, I am the senior broken nose analyst, not just at ESPN, but in the world. And Jalen, when it comes to an elimination game and a team that was up 3-1, CP3 did not want to hear about it. Let's look back at his reaction after Game 4 with Rachel Nichols.
You have done something no other team has done, which is go up on 3-1 on the Clippers in a playoff series.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about 3-1.
This
got a lot of
postseason.
good experiences with that.
Jalen, do you think there's extra pressure on this Suns team because of the potential 3-1 collapse?
I don't think it's extra pressure. However, I was in the gym when the Clippers lost to the Houston Rockets and they had that 18, 19-point lead. And I know what Chris Paul is talking about and the anguish that he was referring to. But it'll be hard-pressed for me to believe that the Phoenix Suns will lose 3 out of 4 games and allow the Clippers to go on and advance in this series. But here's what they're going to have to do. The Phoenix Suns got to play tougher, dog.
Yep.
You just seen Boogie take the ball from CP3 and go coast to coast? I was like, is Boogie fast or is CP3 older? I didn't know what was happening. Did you see Paul George shake CP, push him off, and be strong and make the 3? And so the Phoenix Suns got to absorb that contact and play stronger.
Well, we'll find out tonight at 9 o'clock on ESPN. And Jalen Rose joining us on the show just minutes from now is that man right there, Ja Morant, superstar for the Memphis Grizzlies, joins us on Jalen and Jacoby right after this. Stay tuned.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. You know it's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.
Scott Van Pelt here. If you haven't checked out the podcast SV Pod, what are you waiting for? We're like right directly in the flight path for helicopters flying in and out of D.C. Otis the dog barking at deliveries. High-level intellectual conversation. Some gambling talk, talking with athletes, celebrities, musicians, and more. Also, we got my guy Stanford Steve riding shotgun, trying to keep me out of the ditches. Download and subscribe to SV Pod wherever you get your podcast. We certainly appreciate it. Rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff.
We have a huge game tonight. Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals starts at 9 p.m. Can the Clippers keep their season alive against the Suns? Tune in, 9 p.m. on ESPN. Coming to you live from the South Street Seaport in New York City and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Joining us on the program right now, we have Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja, thank you so much for joining us on the show. So, Ja, I know you saw the Eastern Conference Finals last night between the Bucks and the Hawks. We saw Giannis go down. We've seen a lot of stars get injured in the playoffs. Do you think that is a function of the schedule being so condensed this season?
I can't say, I agree with that. Sometimes, you can't avoid them. It's sad to see, a lot of the stars in this league, go down, especially, in this playoffs and, late, making a run to the championship.
Ja, appreciate the love. Thanks for joining the show. And I saw you also make sure that you represented for Paul George, who it seems like takes a lot of crap from his critics for his lack of, lifting his team to the NBA Finals. What do you think about the shade that fans and media throw towards PG?
I just feel like, everybody just following, the leader. It's probably some people just saying something just to say. But as far as me, I'm a fan of Paul George. I feel like he's a special talent, one of the top players in this league. And I feel like, he's showing it, night in and night out, through this playoffs. I don't know where all the, negative energy comes from, but hopefully, he's just got tunnel vision and, focus on the most important thing.
Ja, your Memphis Grizzlies, in my mind, had a very successful season, one of the best league pass teams out there to check in on and watch. What do the Grizzlies need to add or change or develop to sort of get to that next step and be a contender?
I feel like, we're fine. We're just, one of the youngest team in the league. So, I feel like it was good for us, these past 2 years, kind of, get a taste of the playoffs. Just more experience, continuing to, gel together as one and continue to put in the work. I feel like we'll be fine. I feel like, the future is very bright for us.
Ja, one of the many things I like about your game is you play on schedule and your skill work and your drill work is like everybody else's that's elite in the league. But I appreciate how you also play off schedule where you'll jump in the air, throw it off the backboard, find somebody in the corner, try to dunk over a 7-footer. So where did that come from? Is it because you play a lot of street ball and you do a lot of organized basketball? Where did that come from?
I can say it's, kind of a mixture of both. Just, being where I'm from, we played, a lot of pickup. So it's just, kind of a mixture of both. And, also just, that fearless, mentality and mindset. And a lot of, credit goes to, my teammates and my coaches to, just allow me to, play freely and, play my game.
What can you tell us about your new project, Promised Land?
It's, a documentary about, me that goes into, deeper details and about my journey and, how I got this point and, tell more stuff about me that people don't know. Really, just going from, a small town kid to number 2 pick and to, winning Rookie of the Year.
Hey, Ja, I want to make sure I shout out your father, T. Morant, because as somebody that never met his biological father, I appreciate the relationship you guys have. And one of the compliments I like to pay you, almost like Allen Iverson, I always say you sound older than you really are, more mature than people your age. Can you talk about how you were able to develop that trait?
It's really, just how my parents raised me. They felt like, they did a great job on raising, me and my sister and everybody else, who was, staying with us in the house whenever. They just taught us the right things, taught us to, always be respectful. And, most of the time, I was hanging around my dad, watching basketball and stuff, and it's him and his friends. So, I was kind of around, older people, my whole life. And I can give, credit to that too.
Congratulations on the successful season with the Grizzlies, and congratulations on this
going,
project,
Stay
Promised
healthy.
Land. We look forward to watching that. Thank you so much for joining us on Jalen and Jacoby.
Thank y'all.
We'll be back right after this with much more on Jalen and Jacoby. What did Dak have to say about this season? We'll tell you right after this. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, time to turn our sights to the upcoming NFL season, and Dak Prescott will return under center for the Dallas Cowboys, and he says, and I quote, this will be a very, very special season. Jalen, what do you think about Dak's confidence?
Uncle Chuck D once said it, pieces in one big chess game. Of course you want to take care of Ezekiel Elliott and give him top flight money. He earned it. Of course you want to take care of Dak Prescott, give him top flight money. He earned it. They have great players outside at the skill position. But don't underestimate when the Cowboys are at their best is when their offensive line is dominant. That's going to be the key. Keep Dak clean. Allow Ezekiel to run the football. Take pressure off of your defense, and then that puts them in position to actually achieve their goals.
I just want to see him win the division. Like, you got to win the worst division in football if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're spending that much money and you have that many weapons. Jalen Rose, A lot of people are missing out on the greatest show in sports, and that is Shohei Ohtanis, who, in the Bronx, against the Yankees, went deep not once, but twice. He now has 28 home runs and is the starting pitcher this evening. What do you think about Shohei?
Where's Reg the Ledge in his Yankee hat when you need him? Oh, that's right. Nowhere to be found. How about the lefty Shohei putting on? And the thing is, Jacoby, he's on pace to hit 59 home runs this year.
Ooh,
okay,
ooh.
Let me rewind the tape. On pace for 59 home runs, yet still an elite pitcher, an incredible player. I can't wait to go see him in person, and he's going to force me to start carrying my bat again every day. That's what's
He's going to bring back the bat? I miss the bat, Jalen Rose. I miss people stopping me on the street and saying, why does Jalen Rose hold a bat? And me saying, I don't know. That's just what he does. And Shohei Ohtanis, if he played in the Bronx or if he played at Chavez Ravine, he would get so much more coverage. He deserves it. And we will be back on Friday on ESPN.
One app, one tap, we back. Switch to style up, never beat new track.
One app, McGregor's back in town. Mystic Mac got the suits, he ain't backing down. Got Mitchell with the shots, he's a three-point provider. Corren como locos cause they're scared of the spider.
One app.
La Liga's live on stream. Messi versus Benzema, Clásico Supreme.
Third game on point, Coco setting it off. Ace down the line, the match goes to golf.
ESPN goes deep otra vez.
One app, one tap, it's a worldwide trend.
The ESPN app.
Download now.
We always say we give the people what they want. Part of that is doing podcast exclusive content for our podcast listeners. Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, though?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Of all 4 teams left in the National Basketball Association playoff tournament, I have no idea who's making the finals and no idea who's winning the championship. Like right now, you can tell me all 4 teams. All 4 teams. If you would have told me on Thanksgiving dinner, imagine Thanksgiving dinner, Jalen Rose comes by, brings a nice bottle of wine, and you said, Kevin Huerter and Reggie Jackson are going to be the key to the conference finals. I'd be like, what are you talking about? The G League conference finals? But here we are. Here we are. So, Jalen, what do you think about not just the injuries, but just the unpredictability of these series that seem to swing night after night?
Well, you can't acknowledge it being unpredictable without understanding it's because of the injuries.
That's fair.
Let's go back to the beginning of the year. I would have said, I'm picking Kevin Durant to be my choice for MVP. But he was injured. Right? Look at a player like James Harden. Had a hamstring injury. How about Kyrie Irving? Landed on Giannis's foot. Anthony Davis.
LeBron James with that Solomon Hill play.
And so that right there, to me, took us away from Lakers and Nets. And how about this? 2 years in a row, we still haven't seen the Lakers play against the Clippers in a series. Who would have thought? Not the first round, not the second round, no round. Since Kawhi and PG joined, LeBron and AD joined, they play in the same building. We just knew that they would play each other in the playoffs. It hasn't happened because of injury.
Let me do the media thing. Can I do the media thing and just take it way too far? Can I just take it way too far right now, Mr. Rose? Kawhi Leonard basically could be a free agent in like 3 weeks if he wants. So my question for you is, if the Clippers succeed without him or the Clippers fail without him, which makes it more likely that he stays?
Well, uniquely for Kawhi, he's been in a few different scenarios, and because he's a great player, found success. In the Spurs system, as a young pup coming up under Manu, Tony, and Tim, to then ascending being their best player, and he had a chance to be Finals MVP a year they won the championship. You go to Toronto, you're 1 year there. You lift them to their franchise's first championship. Now going home is a luxury. And we need to be thanking Kawhi. And let me tell y'all why. Let me tell y'all why. You ain't slick, LeBron. You ain't slick, AD. They tried to get him to come play with them. Just think about that for a second. We need to be thanking Kawhi. Because if he would have gone to play with the Lakers, I can't lie, I would have been pissed.
Really?
I need to see the best players at the court playing against each other, Jacoby.
Oh,
That's how it works.
I don't. I want it easy. I want to be with the best team I possibly can. I love what the Nets are doing. If I was Kawhi, I love what KD did when he joined Golden State. I love it. I love it.
Jacoby, you're the foremost expert of pickup basketball. It's such a contradiction knowing that when you go play basketball, the two best players normally pick teams. I'm disappointed in you.
Oh, I remember last time we played at the park, we had a really good team. And we ran for like 9 games in a row. I didn't hear you complaining. I didn't hear you wanting to switch up the teams. I didn't hear that at all.
No.
I didn't hear that at all. You really enjoyed that, didn't you, Mr. Rose?
Well, and so, again, this year's playoffs, Trae Young missed the game. Jalen Brown, Jamal Murray. And I hate to tell people this, even though, we haven't seen in the history of the league 9 All-Stars miss games. When you look deeper into the box scores of many seasons, injuries always play a factor.
Every year. And you're not even mentioning the role players. You know, you've got DeAndre Hunter for the Hawks. You've got Zubac out for the Clippers. And you've got DiVincenzo out for the Bucks. It's not just the All-Stars. There's players that aren't playing in these games that can be impactful. Ibaka. No one even talks about Ibaka because he got surgery, so he's been out. But, when you're the Clippers, you expect to have Kawhi, Zubac, Ibaka available to you, and they don't, yet they're still coming out with wins.
It's really impressive what Ty Lue has done to that team. And I want to compare Ty Lue to somebody real quick. And this is also my guy, Eric Spoelstra. Because when you coach a guy like LeBron James, he gets all of the credit. And what makes LeBron actually respect you, even though the rest of the world don't appreciate the role you play as a head coach, is you're able to challenge him. I remember times when people felt like Pat Riley should just fire Eric Spoelstra because LeBron and or D Wade was walking to the huddle and they bumped shoulders. I'm old enough to remember that.
Yep.
I remember Ty Lue took over after David Blatt during the season. And I covered each of those finals. And I know that he got in LeBron James' shirt about how he was playing lackadaisical.
Game 7 at halftime, Ty Lue famously challenged LeBron James. And then it reported that there's a lot of open mouths just staring at what are you doing, Ty? Game 7, Ty, what are you doing? But look, and we all know what happened in the second half of Game 7.
And so what now happens is there's your post-LeBron, there's your pre- and post-LeBron. So now Spoelstra gets a chance to reinvent himself as a coach. And if I was picking a fantasy coach, he would be number 1. But I'm having this conversation because Ty Lue would be number 2.
Well, Jalen, let's go down a hypothetical highway for a second. We don't know what's going to happen. Clipper season could be over by tomorrow, right? But imagine a world in which they come down from 0-2, and then they come back from 0-2, and then they come back from 3-1. Ty Lue, without Zubac, without Kawhi, if Ty Lue can make these adjustments and get this done and get them to the finals and maybe even a championship, with Paul George being the finals MVP, that puts Ty Lue in a whole different category after doing it with the Cavs and with the Clippers.
Player development, allowing guards to be in position to flourish. Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Patrick Beverly using them to his defensive strengths. Getting Boogie in the second quarter, allowing him to have the opportunity to get buckets, score 10 points in basically 6 minutes. How about Marcus Morris? It ain't just spot up and shoot the 3. No, in transition, run to the block if you got a smaller guy on you. Take your time. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, 3 dribble, 4 dribbles. If they don't help, punish them. Start the game in a zone. Allow them to get a different look. Be on their heels. And so take Ayton out of the game. Slow Booker down. Slow CP3 down. Mikal Bridges has been missing in action. So has our guy Jay Crowder. The Phoenix Suns must respond. And lastly, when you talk about things you would never say, how about you mentioned Bogdanovich and Herter leading the team to the finals and Reggie Jackson. How about this? Cameron Payne. They need him.
Yeah.
He had 29 when CP3 was out. Injured his ankle the next game. And so it's going to take a village for the Phoenix Suns to get past the Clippers.
It's just wild to me what is happening. I could see any one of these 4 teams winning the championship. I really could. And I'm so excited for the game tonight. I think the Clippers take this to 7. I have no idea what happens in Game 7, but I think the Clippers win tonight. I think you're flying back to Phoenix. I really think so, Jay. So get used to that. Get your little warm weather gear ready, because something tells me you flying back to Phoenix after this one. Something tells me. Well, we always say we give the people what they want. So we always have podcast exclusive content, and we can talk about things that we can't talk about on the television program. And one of those is this. I'm sure you've seen the photo by now, Mr. Rose, of a couple on an airplane with an empty seat between them. And they have a full-on Southern style, Cajun style seafood buffet. Multiple lobsters, shrimp, crab legs, and there's got some beverages too. No one talks about the beverages. They got some beverages in there too. So Jalen Rose, you fly a lot. You fly a lot. You were even flying around during the pandemic. You fly a lot. What do you think about the full-on seafood buffet on the plane?
I was flying around during the pandemic. That's hilarious. Boss move.
Really?
Absolutely. Here's the thing. Traveling takes more time than you really believe. And if you travel a lot, you're eating out a lot more than you realize. Mm-hmm. So, therefore, just think about this. I'm going to give you a hypothetical.
Okay.
Say your flight leaves at 5
p.m. Okay.
p.m.
Copy that.
Take it from a travel expert, okay? I've been traveling, playing sports since I was in 5th grade, packing a bag, okay? I remember putting the dirty socks, folding them inside the clean one when I had holes in them, sticking them in the shoe so none of my teammates would see my dirty socks. Those days. Don't underestimate how long it takes you to pack.
Huh.
First off,
I'm a quick packer.
It takes time to pack. You got to think about where you're going, what's the weather there, what am I going to do when I'm there? Am I going to go out to dinner? Am I going to go to the beach?
Am I going to work out?
Am I going to work out?
I always pack the workout clothes, but I never work out.
Right,
you know that
exactly.
move? Yeah.
Correct. And then you got to pack your personal essentials, things for your face, you know, any type of vitamins or pills you may take. Like, packing is a whole
I always forget the charger.
thing.
Gotta get the charger. I always forget the charger.
Right? It's funny you say this, and I swear to God, I just said yesterday, I'm gonna challenge myself. I gotta be better with my chargers and charging my phone. The last 2 or 3 days, I've been looking for either a charger or a pen when I needed them and couldn't find them.
You've never gone to a bar and asked for a drink, you ask for a charger first. Every time we go anywhere, the first thing you do, you be like, you want to eat Mexican, you want to eat Italian, you want to go to a steakhouse, you're like, I don't care as long as I got a charger. I just need a charger. Like, I don't understand what it is about you. I think it's cultural. Like, I just charge my phone at night. I got a charger next to my nightstand, charge it at night, wake up, my phone's charged, I go throughout the day. Like, it's that simple to me. But you out here fiending for a charger.
Because it sounds like you idle yourself down before you go to sleep every night. I fall asleep various ways. So
various ways?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I'm in the bed, sometimes I'm not in the bed. Might be in my big chair, might be on the lounge, might get some attention the night before. There's various ways.
Well, Jay.
Before I go to bed. But here's the thing. Let's finish talking about this. And them on the plane. The time that goes into packing. And then here's the time you really underestimate. Everybody think it's going to take like 15, 20 minutes to get to the airport. It always takes longer.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Well, you show up like right at the last second. Like I like to get to the airport, sit at the bar, have a meal before I get on the plane. I've been on the same flight as you. I'm like, Jay, we gotta go. Like, nah, it's fine. No, Jay, we gotta go. Nah, it's fine. No, Jay, we gotta go. Nah, it's fine. I'm like, Jalen, like I know you're famous, but like they're not gonna like wait for you.
They're not gonna wait. So the flight leaves at 5, right? So you took at least 30 minutes if you're Jacoby and you want to downplay it. Or if you're me, you take it at least a holistic hour to actually, hey, I can wear these pants with two different shirts. And I can wear these pants with a zip up or a hoodie. Okay, I can wear these shorts with this t-shirt or this tank or these socks with these shoes. So now I got gym shoes to rock. I got gym shoes to work out in. I got slides to wear on the beach. Like packing takes time. And so now you're going to the airport. If the flight leave at 5, you got to be there at least by 4. But most of y'all, like Jacoby, going to get there like 3:45, 3:30.
I want to be there like 3:15.
Right?
I get to the security line. Like
I
you
haven't
show
got
up.
there yet.
You show up at 4. You show up at 4 for a 5 o'clock flight. I know you, and it stresses me out every time.
So here's what I want to tell you guys. And I used to time this from when I left my house to when I had my first beverage to when I went out. Because I hate that period of time. From the time you leave your house going to the airport to the time you walk through security and secure all of your items.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.